Myself, Hanuma, I have around 9+ years of experience into automation. I'm currently working with one of the product organization. So I have around in the automation, I have around 7+ into automation. So in these 7 years, I have trained many students, and I'll do the career guidance program as well for the testing people. So in this session, we are mainly so this sequence of sessions we do the playwright with the TypeScript implementation from scratch. So how the real-time frameworks will be built from scratch level, and how you can do the automation things on daily activities, what you do. And if you are switching from Selenium or from other tool to Playwright, how it will be easy for you to easily understand the Playwright, and how it interacts with the elements, how it will make the testers easy, I mean, flexible to do the automation. So I'll just give you a heads up what is automation testing. We have freshers also. So the main intention of coming to the automation testing is in the real time, what we do on daily basis, we'll do some manual testing tasks. So in before 2010, so there is a QTP, and there is a automation tools which is licensed before coming Selenium. So when Selenium started, people are migrating to Selenium. Why? Because to reduce their everyday work, to make the more feasible and increase the efficiency of a testers. So that's where the automation testing comes into a picture, where they can add the scripts, they can write the scripts, and they can utilize the scripts on daily basis whenever they need, so that they reduce their whatever the repetitive work on daily basis, whatever they are doing, all the things will be reduced, and it will give the time to work on different other tasks or different learnings. So that's why the automation testing comes into a picture. But still, whenever you are doing automation testing, I prefer to do the manual testing for any story. So then only you will understand the things, then you will able to make the automation in your scope, and you will able to write clear and precise automation test cases. So you are learning the automation, but if you are not understanding the manual concepts or manual testing how it goes, then you won't be able to make the robust automation test cases which will cover your total functionality. So it will ended up in a production bugs. So make sure you are creating the automation test cases properly, which is covering more. Then it will reduce your burden in the long run, because any project we work, almost it will come under 2 months, 2 years to 5 years or 10 years span also it will be there. But thing is, whatever you are building, that should be a precise and robust. Then you no need to, whenever you are started, it might be struggles, but after completion of that particular after completion of the framework setup and everything, you no need to stretch yourself every day to make that test cases are passing, or you no need to monitor everything, because it will be taken care everything by automation testing. Will be it will execute the test cases, it will share the reports to all the members. If something is failing, they can look into that, and if it is a real bug, they can find that bugs in a lower environment itself. So that's why the automation testing more useful in testers life. So I won't differentiate the testers as a automation testers or manual testers, because as a tester you should perform both manual and automation, then only you are fulfilling the tester, okay, in real world, in the current scenarios. Because if you are doing manual testing, there is no scope, only pure manual testing. There are few, but still there also they are expecting to do some automation to reduce the everyday work. Okay, so now why we are going with the Playwright? So Playwright initially was developed by the initially, before renaming to Playwright, it was a Puppeteer, which is developed by Google Chromium team. So from that Chromium team, the total Chromium Playwright team was moved to the Microsoft Edge team. There they have renamed that Puppeteer into a Playwright. Then they officially released that as a Playwright by Microsoft Edge team. Okay, so it's a fully open source tools. So Microsoft is a major IT giant in the IT industry. So there is no security issues also we won't face because which is coming from major software industry, MNC or big tech company. So we don't need to bother any security concerns. But if you see the Selenium also from open source, but every time when there is a new releases was happening in the Selenium, but those releases everything will be monitored by our security teams in the organizations. But these things will be maintained by Microsoft, so that's why they won't keen on checking all the things what is happened in this bundle. Okay, so that's why people are migrating to Microsoft, and the security teams also is accepting that Playwright is an automation tool for automating the web browsers. So what we do in this Playwright, what actions, what are the things can be done through this Playwright? So it enables us to do the forms, filling the forms and clicking the buttons, or selecting the checkboxes, selecting the drop downs, or navigating to the one page to another page, or multi pages if you want to handle multi pages, alerts, frames. So all the things you can able to do with this Playwright. So comparatively other tools, it was dead easy comparatively. Within a single line of code, it will take care of everything. And it supports the API automation as well. You no need to depend on any other third party library for doing the API automation. It by default comes with the API automation as well. And it supports all major browsers, major languages and major browsers. So major browsers which we say JavaScript, TypeScript, Java and C Sharp. So people will say these are the major languages because most of the people might be working in the services side, they might be using with the C Sharp or Java, and the analytics people will work on the Python, or even the development side also most of the people are migrating to Python. And JavaScript and TypeScript, most of the people are whoever is developing the UI, they will be using the JavaScript, TypeScript only. Okay, so that's why most of the people will depend on these languages. So whoever wants to learn, if any of these languages they know, then they can easily learn this Playwright bindings. Okay, so it supports all multi browsers, so Chromium based browsers. So Chromium based browsers in the sense Chrome and the Edge browser will come as a Chromium browsers. So the Chromium is a open source browser. Open source sense means open source development project. So under this, they will take this Chromium bindings and they will do the some enhancements in the Chrome and the Edge. So based on that only, they will implement the additional features on the Chrome and Edge. And the WebKit is part of a Safari, is part of Safari, or we can say as a Mac OS inbuilt browser. So whenever you are working on a Mac OS laptop, so you will see a Safari WebKit browser by default. So Firefox is a already known browser. So the major browsers used by industry are Chrome, Firefox, and WebKit, and then Edge. These are the first four places will come into the browser usage at the industry terms. Okay, so then we have why Playwright. What is the differences between the Playwright and Selenium? Why people are adapting to the Playwright? So most of the things why people will migrate. So wherever you people have flexibility to do the things, or which is reducing the work burden, or making the things easy, then people will migrate, right? So that's where the Playwright also, Playwright development people also will think like the way how they will make the testers life easy and to complete their day-to-day tasks. Okay, so that's why every release they will do end-to-end testing for the Playwright bindings whatever they are releasing. Okay, so very frequently you will identify the releases will be happening in the Playwright. A small releases or major releases also will happen. So here, so you will see the major features. So when we choose any tool, we will look for these are the main factors, these are the main features. Based on the requirement, we look for that particular tool. So browser support, when you are working on any particular application, so that particular application, if it is supported by multiple browsers, you have to do a cross browser testing. So that's where whenever you are doing a tool selection, you have to keep it in mind whether it is allowing the cross browser testing or not. So Playwright will allow the cross-browser testing with all major browsers which are available in the industry. And Selenium also supports all major browsers. It supports through the driver files. So you have to maintain the driver files and you have to code this separately. So then it will automatically do the things. Okay. So and the second one is the most important is the language support. So when you see the language support, why Selenium has grabbed most of the market from the industry, because when it came to the market initially, it was supporting few of the languages, but when it is growing day to day, it is supporting all the languages whatever is major used by the industry. So that's why wherever you go in the open source industry, which automation tool you are using, people will say Selenium. Okay, so on top of the Selenium, people are added some more bindings. They made it as a some Selendroid and WebDriver above. So all are part of a Selenium only. Okay, so that's where the language importance will come. If some most of the people are adopting Selenium, means they are flexible with some language which is supported by Selenium. So that's why they are migrating to Selenium for doing the automation. The similar approach came into the picture where Playwright also taking care that one. So whatever the major languages used by the industry, all the major languages are supported by Playwright. And the documentation part, so initially when I say in 2015 there is no proper documentation for Selenium. After that they added the extensive documentation after 2015. But Playwright comes with a beautiful documentation with examples how you can utilize each feature in your framework. If you go through the documentation, you will be able to understand. But in the initial time, it will be hard. But when you are comfortable with the documentation, you no need of any videos to read through the documentation and understand the things. But initially, you should having some knowledge how Playwright works, all those things. Okay, and the headless mode. So all browsers, whatever is supported by Playwright, all browsers will be executed in a headless mode or headed mode, whatever the execution. But thing is, most of the browsers are supported by Playwright, but Selenium only the Chrome and Firefox headless modes are supported. Why the headless mode is, whenever we are executing the test cases in local, it will run in a headed mode. Why? Because we'll do the debugging and we'll do the graphical user, how it was navigating, how it is happening, everything. But in the pipeline we no need of graphical user. We can open that particular browser in a virtual mode and we can execute the test cases. We no need of showing that browser is launching, browser is clicking on these events. We no need to show to the users in the pipeline, right? So when it is supporting the headless mode, it makes more fast when executing your test cases. So that's why headless mode is important whenever you are doing the automation test cases. The operating systems, all major three operating systems are supported by Playwright and as well as Selenium as well. The performance and speed comparatively any automation tools in the automation market, Playwright is too fast compared to Selenium or Cypress, whatever the tool you take. So Selenium is bit slow, and browser drivers, you don't need to manage any of the drivers. Everything will take care by the Playwright. Selenium, you have to manage the WebDriver bindings, and you have to wait for that particular binding is available to come to work on the latest browsers. Then, so what are the required softwares are required to learn or to start implementing the Playwright? So we need a Node.js to be installed on your system, and the VS Code, and the Git is used to manage the Git source repository. You can create your own GitHub accounts to manage to learn the things from end to end. Okay, so here install, I mean these are the plugins which will be used for in the VS Code, so that it makes everyday operations bit easy. I'll show you the course curriculum quickly. So we are going to cover the sessions with a introduction to Playwright. I will add few more points related to the Playwright introduction, and we'll try to cover the things, the installations on each and every system. If you are facing any issue, I'll try to take the control. I'll try to debug and I'll fix it for you. and the Playwright library setup and the new first project setup and the first script run to execute the first script. Then we'll go through the test runner setup, how the Playwright test runner works, what are the configurations you have to make for the Playwright test runner, and recording and debugging. So how you can record the scripts using the Playwright Inspector. So which will make made a bit easy compared to other. But these inspector, what I observed is it is giving the real reliable locators, but in terms of React JS or any other places where it doesn't have any of the static locators in that particular place, it is not able to identify the proper um, proper element. But it in terms of any core, in terms of any cloud based tool, cloud based application, Salesforce or something like SAP CRM or Oracle CRM, it will able to identify the locators very easily. Okay, so you can use this as a reliable locators for the cloud based applications. For the local for the things whatever you are implementing a part of React JS applications, it gives sometimes, but all the times it is not giving the reliable locator. So that's why you should learn the things how you can implement the XPaths and CSS locators. And here we are going with the Playwright configurations, how you can navigate, what are the web options and everything. The end-to-end project setup will cover everything, what is the folder structure and the locators. So Playwright comes with some inbuilt locator strategies to identify the elements. We'll go through that Playwright locator strategies and we'll try to find the we'll try to use the XPaths. We'll try to create a new XPaths and CSS locators and the common Playwright actions. So what are the possible actions in the across the industry? We'll try to cover all the common actions which we do on daily basis, and the assertion libraries, which is most important when we do something. Validations for every test case, will came across some validations. Those things will be covered as part of assertions. So, other than the other automation tools in Playwright, we have a dynamic and static assertions. So, dynamic assertions will take care of auto retrying mechanism internally by default. Whenever you want to retry some, whenever you want to find something data, you have to wait until that particular condition is satisfied. Playwright have that beautiful assertions, a single line of assertions, which will take care of everything. Capturing element attributes. So all the how it works is Playwright comes with a inspector and it is having a locator strategies. Most of the locator strategies will work on the element attributes, which is facing user facing attributes, which we will say. And Playwright will comes with a more important is a synchronizations. You no need to do any synchronizations automatically. Playwright will take care of synchronizations. There are very less. There are very less scenarios or less situations you have to make the synchronization, but that synchronization is not like creating a WebDriver class or interface and again waiting or setting the condition. It's not like that. By doing the action itself you can set the synchronization. I'll go through this in one of the sessions. It will be dead easy compared to other frameworks or other open source tools in the market. So these all are the how we will create a real-time framework from scratch. So how we can create a new helper methods, how we can create a dynamic test data and the Playwright test cases. What are the page object model and how we can use a page object model in Playwright. So this is a one framework, and with the same page object model, we'll try to cover the BDD Cucumber scenarios as well, and we'll try to cover three sessions with the API testing, because API testing what we do on daily basis, we have five types of service calls which we do: get, put, post, delete. So all these service calls will try to explore these five types of calls, how the Playwright API will do the configuration and it will trigger the API and it will give the responses. Okay, and the test data mocking, which is one of the advanced feature. You can mock the API responses, or you can intercept the network API. So in the Chrome browser or any browser, you will see a network, right? So in the network, whatever the API calls are being triggered, you can intercept that network request and you can pass the data, whatever you want additionally, or whatever the response is coming back, you can intercept the response, and that response you can interpret or change that response, how you can validate how my UI is behaving. Okay, so you can do those type of things also with the Playwright. Database connectivity with the Playwright and hooks test annotations. So similar to all frameworks, we have a database connectivity uh, with the TypeScript, Node.js TypeScript, how we can connect. So for every database, we have to add a module. So according to that particular module, how it connects to the database, how it queries the data, and it returns the result. I'll take one of the MySQL server. I'll explain here, but we don't have a real environment setup in local. That's why I'll just give you a snippet of code. I'll explain through each line of code, and how you can group the test cases, what are the hooks are available in Playwright, what are the annotations, how we can tag that. So all the things we'll cover as part of this. We have few more things related to the TypeScript also. Those things we'll cover in 5 sessions, a 1 week sessions. Then I'll start the framework sessions. So I'll stop here in the synchronizations part. Once I completed the first part, then I'll start with the TypeScript. Then I'll go for the Playwright concepts. Once I have completed all these things, then I will explain you the end-to-end setup of CI/CD pipelines, how you can use the CI/CD Jenkins pipelines, how you can use a GitHub Actions